Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this Sunday morning. We have several people on, it looks like. So really quickly, I'm going to introduce myself, introduce Gloria. So my name is Janae Spry. If you don't know me, some of you guys definitely know me. I'm a growth strategist and founder of Crush Conversions. Gloria Rivera, Dr. Gloria Rivera with me here. She is the founder of Blue Urpi. They offer training for medical translators and interpreters, as well as medical translation and interpretation. And court, now you do court as well, right? So,
yeah, I do everything.
So she's got her hands in everything, and a lot of these things, of course, are actual physical contact sports, so to speak. Actually,
now it's like adventure sports. It's like adrenaline.
Right now, yeah, might as well be rock climbing right now, right? Like you never know what's going to happen.
Same amount of adrenaline, baby.
At this time, at this point, it kind of is, right? So we're just on here. This is not medical advice. I put it in the description up here that we're not giving medical advice. But we're just going to go through kind of if you find yourself working from home and that was not your intention, maybe you're working from home for the first time, maybe you are working from home and you're used to having an office, maybe you have a team and now everybody's working from home and you're used to managing the team at a physical location. We're going to talk about all these things, how you can stay productive, how you can keep your business moving forward, and how you can be proactive about making sure that we're all, kind of moving our businesses forward and getting things done. So the one thing I want to talk about that I found, so Gloria and I had a chat already once doing this, and it was so awesome that we just had to do it for you guys. So that's why we're here. And the one thing during that chat that I thought was really interesting that I learned, because I didn't know this, and I felt really ridiculous that I didn't know this, but apparently a lot of people don't know this, that COVID-19 and coronavirus are not the same thing. Like they're not synonyms for each other. Can you explain a little bit? Because I 100% thought COVID-19 was just like what they were calling the novel version of the virus that is because it started in 2019. Like that's what I thought. So can you just kind of explain that a little bit? Because I think it's important. The distinction is important.
Yes. So first off, I should say I'm a doctor because I studied and worked as a doctor in Peru. But here I reinvented myself like Madonna and I became, I studied obviously. I just didn't go like, hey, I'm going to be a translator and interpreter today. Like I came to the stage, decided to change paths. It's been a fun ride. So now I apply what I have learned as a doctor and what I have learned as a translator and interpreter, and I have my own business. Actually, Janae was the one that pushed me to teach online. So if you need someone to teach you how to teach online, she's good. And she taught me, what do you teach me? Like to do my website, MailChimp, landing pages. Yes. Dude, I'm like your kid. I'm a product of Janae. I'm your little Frankenstein.
Glad it worked out.
No, but dude, I'm your success story.
Yeah.
She didn't pay me to say this. I'm saying it because it's true. So yes, of course, this is kind of like what I see when people talk about HIV and AIDS. HIV is a virus, and AIDS is a syndrome that comes down the road when you fulfill certain criteria. Same thing is the misinformation-based incorrect terminology. So what happens is what coronavirus, it causes a pneumonia, and the pneumonia is called COVID-19. So what it means is coronavirus disease 19 because it started in 2019. It just came into like fashion this year, and so the World Health Organization has decided to call it COVID-19, and it's caused, like I said, by coronavirus. Is wrote with caps and a dash before the two numbers, and then the International Committee of Viral Classification Taxonomy has decided to name this virus SARS. Remember SARS? It was in a couple of years ago, SARS-CoV-2, but it's faster, and so for family and friends, it's just coronavirus. So coronavirus causes COVID-19.
Okay.
Because we need to use the proper terminology.
All right, cool. Yeah, I really did not have any idea that that was true. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not as well informed as I thought I was. So
that's why I'm still in business.
Exactly. That's why Google Translate has not taken your job.
We'll never do that.
Exactly. So one thing I want to talk about in particular is I think largely affected are service-based entrepreneurs and service-based businesses because, I mean, number one, especially if you're a solopreneur, I mean, I think priority number one is don't get sick, right? Because right now, if you get sick, people are going to worry that you're going to get them sick, and people are, I heard yesterday on the news, I think it was either the news or NPR, and they were like trying to explain to people like, you know, yes, it's possible that if someone has a cold, they could give you a cold, but they can't give you coronavirus because they have a cold. But right now, people are just like
everything. Asthmatics were being treated poorly because I have asthma, and usually in the mornings I have this cough, and I was at Trader Joe's and I cough, and people were like, and I'm like, I have asthma, dude. Chill. Don't look at me like that because I'm actually gonna cough in your direction.
I'm having the same issue right now, especially with the weather. It's like making it even worse. And so I'm like clearing my throat a lot and coughing, and people are like kind of just like looking at me like I'm gonna infect them and like kill them or something. But we want to talk about if you are working from home. So I posted a poll yesterday about, you know, who is working from home more than normal and not very thrilled about it. You know, we talked a little bit about working from home the same, and several people commented saying they are in fact in isolation or quarantine right now. So that can create a lot of things. So make sure you're looking at your systems to stay accountable. The video that's posted in the group right now is the 1-3 More video that I made for productivity and business planning. So, you know, you might be somebody that's like normally really productive, and maybe right now is the time to sort of reduce the amount of things that are on your plate in terms of if you're having a difficult time focusing. So, you know, if you're having a difficult time focusing, recognize that and reduce the things. But at the same time, this is the perfect time to write all the blog posts for your whole entire year. You never have to write another blog post.
Or deal with accounting.
Oh my God, right? Like it is March, so if you're trying to get your tax information together.
Perfect time.
This is great. I mean, you're gonna have to do it at some point, right? So you might as well do it now. And I know Gloria, like you're like in between places and like packing and moving right now. So I think you're focusing more on your like getting business that's online, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I do is translation is written, interpreting is spoken, and I'm in between Oakland and San Diego. So if I'm happen to be in San Diego when they want something, I'll do it. If not, I'm like, I never say I'm not at some location. I just tell them, unfortunately, I'm booked, which is the beauty, culturally speaking, from living in the States, because if I'm from Peru, if we're in Hispanic culture, they'll be like, why? And they expect an answer. So that's why I love living here, because I just tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not available. They're like, okay, bye. And they look for someone else. It's perfect.
And the other thing I want to talk about is, especially for people that are maybe working from home and you have other people in the house, because I've heard some feedback on that, you know, that a lot of people used to work out of the house and now they're home and they have a family, you know, they have a roommate, they have whatever, and they're not used to having to deal with other people being around them. And, you know, we both know that when you work from home, not everybody understands that that's actually work.
Yeah.
And so they think that, you know, you're the airport pickup person and they're like, hey, let's talk about this person and all of that. So I want to talk to you guys really quickly about, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there was an experiment done in a hospital and all the nurses were messing up the medication administration in the hospital, like on a really, like not a regular basis, but it was like, obviously that's bad for it to happen ever, right?
Yeah, it is.
So they realized that what was happening is because they were constantly being interrupted while they were making the doses. So like as they're making the dose, you know, a doctor would come by who is essentially their superior. And so like they would stop what they're doing and like engage with the doctor, answer the question, whatever, and go back to what they were doing. But because of this, it was causing these mistakes to happen. So the first thing they tried was they wore a vest. And I want you guys to picture, especially the United States, the worker vest, you know, that you see like if people working the side of the road, the like bright orange, like don't hit me with your car vest. So that's just what they put on the nurses. And they hated it and they were freaking out. Like, I can't believe I've been reduced to wearing this ridiculous like vest or whatever. But then the results were that it pretty much like killed the whole entire like issue, because they put this vest on whenever they were like filling medications. And so like no one just
works
more. Yeah. So like pretty cool, right? So it wasn't that the environment really changed. I mean, they were still like having to be around doctors and like other people, but the fact that they instituted this rule that like if they're wearing this vest, they can't be disturbed, you know, people would go to talk to them and be like, oh, you know, they're wearing the vest. Other hospitals did like tape on the ground. So like if they went to the station and they were inside the like little do not disturb box, then they couldn't be disturbed while they were doing this. All of this to say that like even if you don't have an office, like a home office where you can shut the door or something like that, create your own do not disturb area, vest, hat. Somebody told me, I read in a book the other day that his wife did a crown. Like she was really put a crown on her head. And the crown was like the do not disturb crown. So whenever she was wearing it, like he knew that he couldn't talk to her. So like whatever you have to do, and I realize like if you have like a 2-year-old, that might not be quite as effective, you know?
Yeah, you know what a friend of mine does?
What?
Like Rafaela, she has like a playpen around her desk. So you cannot, I think she did it when the kids were like little.
Yeah.
And she had like a playpen around, so it's like do not come near mommy area.
Like that's awesome.
She's like inside of a playpen or something. And I've seen, of course, memes that have a sign that says, yes, I did watch Survivor. No, I'm not angry. Yes, I have a deadline. I'll deal with you later. And they put the sign on the back of their chair. So that's another option.
Yep.
Because like when I go back to Peru to visit my parents, I'm working on my laptop and they know that when I have my headphones, it's do not disturb because they think I'm on Facebook. And I'm like, yes, I'm actually on Facebook because I'm dealing with my group.
Yeah.
I'm working on a class, on a webinar. I'm promoting the webinar. So yes, I'm on Facebook, but in this case, it's gonna make me money. So sure.
Yeah,
we have to be nicer at that. And I have also seen online a lot of things on how to keep your kids entertained if you have kids. Because that, if you keep them entertained, that's great, because that way you can keep working. Because I mean, I don't have kids and I get distracted as it is. So I can only imagine how it is when you have kids.
Yeah.
Imagine, yeah, it's like.
That actually brings up another thing that I had written down that I wanted to talk about that I actually just saw. I mean, I kind of want to talk about it in general, but I just saw a tweet today. I took a screenshot, so I'm going to try to find it. But and
if you don't have a subscription to Disney Channel, this is a good time to get it if you have kids.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, the fact that this is creating a situation where people are, you know, working from home and they're not used to working from home. And so what they've had to do is entertain their kids that they normally they would be engaging with their kids. And they're like, no video games, you know, like no this, no that. And now they're like, I mean, I have to get work done. Like, what do I do? So they're like allowing the kids to spend all this time on video games. So the tweet says, working from home and no school are pulling the metaverse forward. Parents trying to be productive are giving their kids free rein for gaming, probably the first time it's ever been encouraged. Video game engagement and revenue increasing sharply per various data sources. So the point being that like people's behavior is currently different than normal. So if you're running ads, where are you putting your ads, and should you be changing that based on this different behavior, right?
Yeah, where people are right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because people are in different places, right? They're bored at different times. They're entertaining themselves in different ways. Like all these things that like we were discouraged or whatever right now are being encouraged. That's a whole thread, a whole entire thread. It's really interesting.
Or for example, the way people are deciding to stay informed. Like I get most of my updates on Twitter. So I'm more time on Twitter. So I'm seeing more things on Twitter. So Twitter ads would also be, well, it depends on where your people are. Like if they're on Facebook, it would be a great, because people are like talking to each other through Facebook because they're trying to keep, to see where people, how are doing, if they need more things or not.
Yeah, and like
we
family.
As humans, we need interaction. So I want to know what my mom's up to.
Yeah, and like people are getting more lonely, you know, and stuff like that as they're having to go into isolation. And so they're turning to social media and turning to these things, which already they were. I mean, everybody was like, pretty much everybody is on Facebook, right? Stuff like that. But they're spending like, I would say, so much more time on these things than they even already were, which was already a lot, but now it's even more, you know, so you have that kind of opportunity.
Also, you know what, like this is a good time to have that face-to-face contact with your clients like you did. Like you can create a video in order to be a face more than a business, because that way people, like right now, people have the time to watch that video you've been procrastinating and creating to introduce your brand or to make your brand more like people friendly. Exactly. So this is a time where people will actually watch it.
Yeah, and you know, for example, people had these spaces carved out from their businesses to attend conferences. Well, if you were going to a conference, you're pretty much not now, and neither are your customers, right? And so if you're bummed that one of your conferences that you had planned to attend is canceled, think through critically, like, why are you so bummed about it? Is because you had planned to network there? Is it because you had planned to meet client ABC there or client, you know, XYZ there? Reach out to those clients and say, hey, looks like we're not going to be able to, you know, sync up at this conference. Like, let's jump on a Zoom call. Let's set a meeting to kind of catch up and things like that. Get face-to-face like this. So far, Zoom's working great, even though it's powering the entire world right now. You know, they have space in their calendar because they were originally supposed to go to a conference, right? So hop on, be proactive with that space. And like you were saying, make a video to be, you know, make a branding video to like put out into the world, to be a face, put a face on your business, if your service, even if you're product based. If you're product based, start thinking through, you know, of course, like, are there going to be delays in shipping? Like, how can you engage with your customers and prepare them for that and make sure that they're going to be okay with that and all of that good stuff.
Or you know what, like sometimes when people go to conferences, they have, like you said, they have planned to meet with their clients. Just tell the client like, hey, you know what, like it's a difficult time, but I'm up for a meeting with you on Zoom. I have used Uber Conference too. And it's cool because you can also see your screens. I've had meetings like that with tutoring, and they can see my screen. So instead of get creative, this is a great time to show that you're creative, that you think outside the box, and that you're flexible. So for example, as an interpreter, a lot of interpreting conferences have been canceled. And a lot of people go to these conferences because we're certified and we need continuing education. So I'm going to roll out, and because they can get all their CEUs, continuing education units, in one place, I'm going to have this this campaign saying like, hey, don't feel sad because you're not getting your credits. I have credits here, and they're from home. So just like think outside the box and give people, like, think what are your clients missing right now, and give it to them. Don't expect them to contact you. Be proactive. Yeah,
definitely. And I think like, especially if you feel like you're one of the small fish and you have like a lot of competitors, for example, nobody knows what's going on right now. So everybody is reduced to like square one, like everybody that had it all figured out and had like everything going and for themselves and everything. This is the time where those people's systems might be breaking down. And hopefully that's not you. And if it is you, please audit your system, sit down and figure out what is going on. We can talk about it in the group. So if anybody's struggling with that, you know, we can all jump in and help you out. But definitely look at that and keep in mind that no one planned for this. Exactly zero people planned for a virus to take over the world. Like no one has, I mean, even they were talking on NPR about the airlines. They were like, they have plans for terrorist attacks. They've got plans for like, being like attacked military, like with the military. They've got all these things, but most of them do not have a plan in place for a pandemic. So, a lot of people are kind of scrambling right now. So that creates opportunity, like you were saying, right? All these people, they're missing CEUs. That's a large reason they were going to the conference. So you're going to be like, here are the CEUs. You're welcome.
You're already missing? Why are you missing? Look, I have them here from the comfort of your home in your pajamas.
Yep. And that's a good time to like diversify, right? So diversify your offerings. If you are a service-based business, are you like, every service-based business has at least 10 questions that they've been asked like 100 times. Take those questions, turn them into like a mini course or a video or something like that people can buy, right? So you can have a little bit of income, passive income coming from that. And you're helping your clients out by answering all these questions for them that they would have been asking you anyway, right? So
it's the best time to create value for your brand, make your brand stronger, make it actually more personable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my boyfriend's a chef, and I'm helping the restaurant owner deal with social media, because that's my thing apparently now. And I told him, like, this is the best time right now because people are hungry. Going to the store is a hassle because not only are people out of toilet paper, it's like you go to Trader Joe's and there's no pasta for some reason because pasta never dies. I don't know.
They stopped with toilet paper and now they forgot they have to eat.
Like I need pasta instead of toilet paper, I guess. So they're like upgrading their food taste. Yeah. So I was telling them like, my sister's in the UK and she told me that they have contactless delivery. So I told them, hey, like this is the time to make your brand say, come and save the day, because there's a lot of people in that area that are older, but they have more income than the average American.
Yeah.
So I'm like, make their life easier. Like this is your perfect chance for you to come and shine and save the day for any type of client you can have.
Yeah, exactly. So they're doing the no contact delivery?
Yeah. Oh God. I hope they don't hear me. Like, I'm like, hey, I just contacted him. Like, do you have a mailing list? Because I talked to my boyfriend. I hear what's going on. I'm like, I have both sides. So I'm like, do you have a contact list? Like, well, we'll have one from your previous restaurant. I'm like, how could you not have a mailing list? Like, I have a mailing list.
Guys, if you don't have, can we just pause for 1 second? If you don't have a mailing list and all you have is like your people you're following on Facebook, you're following on YouTube or whatever, get a mailing list. Stop it. You don't own that. You don't own that.
I'm like, hold on a second. How do you not have okay, never mind. It's like, I'm doing my to-do list. One, mailing list. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use your previous mailing list. Do you have MailChimp? It's like, yeah, I think we do. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's funny because it's things I have, and it's just me, myself, and my dog, like my business. So she's marketing too. And I'm like, okay, so I need MailChimp, your MailChimp account. We need to put a marketing campaign out right now. Da, 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 da. It's like, oh, you really know what you're talking about. It's like, yes, dude, I really know what I'm talking about because Janae taught me. So yeah, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put out like a Facebook campaign. And so I tell them, like, we're going to use your old list, your wife, and you, because they have been in not the restaurant business, but kind of like this, and they're from a different tax bracket. All your friends and family, we need all their contact information. They're going to be added to your list because now is the time where all the people you gave a free drink to come and pitch in, you know, because they're in Oakland, and right now San Francisco has shut down a lot of places, and some of them are things that are over 100 people are going to be shut down until May. So business is gone until May. So if you didn't plan ahead of time, So I'm like, okay, so what we're going to do is the following. We're going to do MailChimp. We're going to do Facebook. And whatever I produce on Facebook, you are going to republish it everywhere. And same thing on Twitter, because right now is the time to create your list and build it.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you proud of me?
I am so proud of you. Yes, I'm so excited. I was like, that is an amazing, I mean, that's an amazing plan, especially, and that's an example right now, right? So you have restaurants that have been, they probably have, there's restaurants in San Francisco that are booked out months and months and months in advance, right? And those restaurants are like, we don't need to advertise. We don't need to worry about this, da-da-da. Enter COVID-19, right?
This is I'm being cocky. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so like this kind of levels the playing field. So if you're in any industry where, you know, kind of the rug has been pulled out from everybody, I mean, do something like this. Think, okay, like people are going to be, they only bought toilet paper. They didn't buy any food. They're going to be like, crap, I thought I could order it on Amazon. And now I'm realizing that everything's like getting out of stock, or like, oh, it's going to be there in 3 weeks, but you're hungry now. Like, this is a great opportunity for something to do. So.
Toilet paper is not tasty.
Not very, I don't, yeah, I hear
even with Purell, it's not tasty.
That's like a topic. Oh my God. One thing I have to say is the memes so far on point for this. I have been cracking up with the toilet paper memes. Did you see the one that had a paper towel and they'd cut it in half? Like, you know, like it said, like, follow me for more recipes.
Yeah. But that's going to be good for plumbers, because that thing is going to clog your toilet. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah, if you do that, put it in the trash can. It's not a good plan.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure that I didn't want to talk about anything else. So one other thing I wanted to mention is something that happens when people end up with a gap of time, and they're like, oh, let me look at my backlog of like to-do list items. But what ends up happening is they have like the digital or written equivalent of like a shoebox full of items with like no prioritization, no nothing. And so they look at like their 100 items and they have no idea where to start. So even if you don't actually tackle any of the projects during this time, it would be a really good time to sort of get that in order and start prioritizing that backlog, so that when you do have gaps of time and you can promote something to very important and get it done, like we were talking about in the 1-3 more system, this is a really good time to prioritize that backlog. So even if that's all you get done during this time, but pick something and get it done, or prioritize your giant list of, I wish I had time to do this one day items. Because for sure, I've seen that before. People are like, oh, I have this giant list. And sometimes what ends up happening is like half of them aren't even relevant anymore. You know, like you wanted to write a blog post about a thing and that thing's like 3 years old now and no one cares about it. So like, look at it, you know, get rid of the stuff that's not relevant anymore. Yeah. Cross it out, and really prioritize that so that you can get stuff done. Mm-hmm. That was like the one thing I had on here that I didn't say. Cool. Yeah. And if you were watching the replay, which I know a lot of people will be, it's Sunday morning. I get it.
I don't blame you.
You know, what you're experiencing, what's going on for you. I just talked to a friend of mine this morning, actually, and she said that, you know, she's working from home, but she was already working from home. And so they were supposed to work like the entire weekend, because they had a Monday deadline for a project, and their boss emailed them on Friday to tell them they didn't need to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what's happening? But what's happening most likely is that project was related to a client that actually does work physically in the world. And so they have temporarily put that project on hold, and that has affected her work. So think through things like that. And again, like, make the most use of your time. If you're struggling for lack of focus, shut down Twitter, shut down Facebook. It's a good place to start.
Yeah, it works a lot.
And just
play some music
and move forward. Play some nice music. Exactly.
And also, like, give yourself some mental breaks, because sometimes, like, your brain just needs to press a reset button. I mean, obviously, you kind of go for a walk, but I don't know, read a book. It's a good time to start reading again, you know.
Yeah. I just actually ordered a bunch of books, like physical books, off of Amazon. Oh, I've noticed myself. I know, it's crazy. I'm like the digital.
You're going crazy.
I
You're
hate paper.
always making fun of me because you hate paper. You're like, oh.
I hate paper. I hate it. But one thing I've noticed is that like I've had a little bit of lack of focus too, because there's just so many, like so much news coming up all the time. I mean, it's like you could look at the damage report for this like every 10 seconds and there'll be some new piece of information. So I'm like, I need like something that keeps me off of a digital device, right? That I can put down and just like go into the pool or the hot tub or whatever and just like hang out and
or your corner.
Yeah, or your like little taped off corner at your house. Wear your vest, you know, and read a book.
Brown.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so if you have any feedback for us guys, let's talk about it. Like I said, I just wanted this to kind of be a conversation. And because it's going on and it's on everyone's minds, like we can talk about it. If you are managing a team and you're, you know, having issues and systems are breaking, like I think that's something that everyone is dealing with right now because again, no one planned for this. So it's not just you.
Only people that think about the end of the world, those are the ones that are rejoicing right now. The people that have a bunker and that have food for 3 years, those are the ones that are having fun right now. Tell you,
I was telling my fiance the other day, I'm like, you know, I currently regret every zombie movie I have ever watched because they all start like this and it's giving me anxiety.
I know.
All of them start like this. And yes, I realize it is not the zombie apocalypse, but I'm like, they do start with the hoarding. You know, like,
that's what it'll start with. I thought it would start with food, not with toilet paper, to be honest, because newsflash, it doesn't cause diarrhea.
I know. I mean, I thought of food first too. I was like, you know what? Like, I was like, what do I even eat that lasts a lot? Because I eat a lot of like fresh meat and fresh vegetables. So I'm like, crap, you know. So I was thinking about, oh yeah, like pasta. Like I don't eat a lot of pasta anymore. I was like pasta. So I was thinking through all these things. It just cracked me up that like those things were plenty available for like until maybe even like 2 days ago or a day ago.
Yeah, there's no pasta right now because it's California. No one eats carbs.
Yeah.
And now carbs are the first things that are gone. And for example, I always have, like my boyfriend says I'm a food hoarder because I always have like frozen stuff in the fridge. And now guess who is in Oakland eating all that stuff?
Now you're laughing, right? You're like, oh.
I'm like, oh, you're not starving, right? I guess.
Yeah, you like that frozen food, huh?
Isn't it tasty, huh? It's like, yeah, I had the eggplant yesterday. Look at that.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we can keep the conversation going in the comments. Like I said, I know a lot of people are going to be watching the replay. When you do watch the replay,
someone has a wiener dog, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Olivia.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to bring Olivia.
Okay. She has a really cute dog.
Who was taking a nap. She likes to slip it.
Hi, Olivia.
Happy today.
This is Blue Urpi's marketing department right here joining us.
Yeah, she's the cuteness officer.
Exactly. Cool. So hit us with the hashtag team replay whenever you get a chance to watch this. And let us know what is going on for you in your business. What changes have you noticed? What issues are going on? Anything at all, we'd love to hear. Mm-hmm. He says he knows. Yeah, she's popular. She's tired. It's Sunday morning.
Some people know her more than they know my name.
I know. She's like she's in like almost all of your webinars, isn't she?
No, sometimes in the free ones. I just use her like for fun.
Cool. All right. Well, I want to let you get back to packing.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, I know you're really excited to get back to that. So I wouldn't want to keep you.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks and have an amazing Sunday, everybody.
Oh, and wash your hands. And if you sneeze, do the vampire sneeze.
Yes, the vampire sneeze. Wash your hands a lot.
It's much better on Purell because the envelope around the virus, so it's kind of like a bubble, it's made out of fat. And what kills fat better than soap? Not Purell.
Wait, the envelope around the virus is made of fat?
Yeah, it's lipid. It's a lipidic envelope.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
What would you do without me?
I don't know.
And my useless random knowledge.
I don't know. Yeah. You do have some interesting knowledge.
I have the best conversations with strangers sometimes.
I bet.
Yeah.
You're crazy. That's why it's so fun to do these though.
I know.
All right, girl. Well, thank you
Yep.
so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for your information and advice on how you're kind of weathering the whole fact that part of your business is definitely in person.
Yep.
Yeah, so think outside the box, think about diversification, what other offerings you can make. And, you know, like those little courses, like I mentioned, I mean, that's going to serve as a lead magnet too for when this blows over and you go back to working your service-based business as well. So keep that in mind too. And look at your systems. If they are broken, fix them.
And be the hero of your clients. This is your time to shine, to be proactive and go to where they, because you know what, right now, if you think you're freaking out, these people that have companies that you serve, industries that you serve, they're freaking out even more. So be the one that's like, chill, let me take care of it.
This is what we're going to do.
It's adding more value to what you already do, and they will be so thankful. They're not going to forget what you're doing for them.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, happy Sunday.
Yay.
See you later.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Olivia.
Bye, Jenny.